all the way,
Yeah.
you know what it takes, right? So let's have a look. Put it on. Oh, 10 hours. That's a good. I don't think even I could talk for 10 hours. Okay. Yep. Are you ready?
Okay. No, wait.
Silence, please.
I should have connected. Oh, music.
The stage is yours.
Um, well, we have seen how many people are getting interested in fitness measures like calories intake, heart rate, amount of steps, and many other inputs for their lives, right? So this is part of the quantified self-movement. We're doing this because we want to integrate technology to measure many aspects of our life, and we have devices for do that. The Apple Watch is coming in April, and this will increase the popularity of the quantified self-movement and the adoption of wearable technology. Last week, Under Armour said that it was going to invest a lot in developers to create monitoring apps for their clothing. And OnSignal actually has a biometric smartware that works as a breathing monitor. So I don't know how many people wants to look like a Robocop, but it seems like there are a lot. So for that reason, we believe that gyms need to tackle this opportunity before it gets too late. They need to take advantage of the quantified self-movement, and there are platforms already out there in the gyms where they collect data and they can use it to the experience of their users, of their customers. This, of course, is the next step in the innovative evolution of the gyms. So one of these platforms is the Wellness Key. The Wellness Key records every activity that you do at the gym, and it also adjusts the stations or the machines to your own program. So you just need to connect and start doing your exercise. All this data goes to the Wellness Cloud, and the Wellness Cloud integrates several devices across the experience. So we have been doing research, and we found out that this data motivates a lot of people to do exercise. But also there are other people that this is not enough for them, and they even pay for the membership on the Wellness Kit, but they don't go. So let's face it, the problem is that we are human. We constantly are busy. We probably we're lazy sometimes. We sometimes don't see any results, so we just give up, or we don't push ourselves enough. Maybe sometimes we feel intimidated or alone, and we prefer to do other activities. So we think that the best way to motivate someone is to make sure that they are having fun. And for that, people, what they need is play a game that makes them want to go to the gym. So this is what the gamification is about, introducing game elements into any activity. So we introduced GymQuest. GymQuest introduces gamification to the data collected by the Wellness Key, and allows us to manipulate or leverage the psychology of the human behavior and their habit creation. Also, it makes part of the current trends of persuasive technology. The genre of our application is health and fitness. It also classifies as a social game, and is a lifestyle application as well. Competitors. There are many applications out there, fitness applications, but just one introduces gamification into the mix, and it's Fitocracy. They have two problems. One of the problems is that they require the users to introduce the data manually. And of course, this creates frustration, and I have actually talked with people using the service, and they just, after a point, they don't see any advantage at any point on continue doing it. So the problem with that is that the customer churn, the churn rate is really high because people is just leaving the ship. So the second problem with them is like, even if we quantify ourselves so much, we will be still alone. And to make use of this data, to have really good benefits of this data, we need qualified supervision. And where is that? Well, in the gym. So that's what is the game about? Well, what we will do is actually leverage the current and future infrastructures of the Wellness Cloud and all these platforms around, And in that way, we can integrate several systems, several services in a seamless experience for the user. As well, what we want is to include a multiplayer experience that will motivate the people to play. These elements actually make multi-massive online games really popular among all the people. So one of these is the psychology of players. We will enhance, or GymQuest will leverage that to enhance the user experience. So in that, that was defined in the Bartle test, described by Richard Butler in Designing Virtual Worlds. He said that in multiplayer games, there are usually, you can identify 4 types of characters of players: the killers, the achievers, the socializers, and the explorers. To each one of them, we have something in GymQuest. For the achievers, they will work with levels, points, and badges, and everything that they accomplish in their workout. For the killers, we promote by leaderboards and rewards, and of course, we introduce a feature for them to show off and socialize their accomplishment on social media. For Socialize, we create a tool, a social component for create groups and lists of friends, and also quests that they could do and work together to accomplish. And for the explorers, well, each program has their own activities, so they can actually explore their own activities and select their path and their own experience at their own pace. So that's great for them. So why is GymQuest awesome? Well, one of the things that makes it awesome is that we don't need to really make them interact with the app, because everything will be updated automatically if integrated with these platforms. So they don't need to interact with GymQuest, but we will make sure that they want it. And how? Well, it's because they will do exercise, and then they will have fun and meet new people and win stuff. So and that they will also be healthier, create good habits, and form a lifestyle. So that is awesome in our application. What other thing that is awesome is that the GymTech, the creators of the wellness app, actually are running an international wellness accelerator program in which they encourage startups to apply, and they will deliver all the tools that people need to create these applications. I contacted the people at Technogym, and they told me that I should apply as soon as possible. But that's why I'm looking forward to create a startup and just apply for it. They will just give you the mentorship and the money to work with their systems. So we plan to launch in iTunes and Google Play as an application. And the audience, well, the audience is basically all the gym goers in the world. So we have from people from quite young ages to people from all elderly. And what we have done in our research is that we went to a local gym in Jobbik that has integrated the wellness app, the wellness key, and they told us that older people actually enjoy the experience more because they feel that they are interacting with the new technology, and it's so easy for them that they enjoy it. So the money, well, we have several ways. We think that there are several ways to monetize. A lot of possibilities. The capacity for growth is enormous. We can scale as the systems and the technology scale with the gyms. The application will first focus locally in Norway, but of course the technology allows the possibility to expand worldwide. And we look for cooperation between several businesses. We don't want just to include gyms. We want to include several other businesses that can promote their products through the platform, and that's creating the rewards that they will win and redeem. So yeah, we're finished, but then let me introduce the other team. Because we have a team of 3 interaction designers. We have Mariam, we have Sofia Christoph that is not here, but she has been working in a startup previously, creating an app for iTunes. We have Dimitri, he's the web developer in a company in Oslo. And we have also Tanja Brurak, that is not here either. Besides this, all startups need their advisors and mentors, right? I come with a mentor personally. He's the director of the negotiation program at Oxford, and he actually is really focusing or he had his degree in Harvard, and he is expert in psychology and on human behavior. He's a gym goer and a triathlete. And of course, advisors in here, as amazing as we have Marius and Simon, really experts of mobile and gamification. And we have a Stein that is really, he has a lot of experience in game development. So that's GymQuest. I hope you enjoyed. So you have any questions?
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's great.
What is the term in U.S. Army? Permission to speak freely, sir. Very interesting. I hate gyms.
Yeah, I do.
But I see the point. But it took me at least 5 minutes into the presentation to at least get a slight grasp for what you're doing. What is the objective? Because as I mentioned in my presentation, I'm not saying that was good. And that's definitely nothing that you should use as a yardstick. But you guys are technologists, and you're very preoccupied with technology. What is it possible to do? You know, can do this, that. And so for me, it became very unclear. You should probably limit the number of slides to maybe half.
Yep.
And also, you should start out with what is it that we are actually aiming at? Because you have put your finger on a need in the market. Excellent. You have done some market research on competitors. Also excellent. So you are on the track, definitely. But you need to sort of tone down the message.
Yeah. It's kind of the first time I actually introduced the slides to people, and I'm looking forward for this feedback to hone the skills and the way I want to present this to future investors. But besides that, any questions about the experience, about the app, or if you find any profitability success? I can.
No, if you want to apply, or when you apply, you should use that information, the knowledge that you and your group have, and sort of reduce it into words.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do words, you have to be clear and concise, and you really have to be.
Yeah, that's one of the things with this. It's difficult to grasp or to make other people understand if they haven't been in contact with this. So to show that up it would be more efficient to do it personally.
Quite honestly, I still don't understand what you're doing.
Okay.
Could you present us with one sentence that what is your project?
Okay, GymQuest is based in the elements that make multiplayer massive online games so popular, and we want to translate that experience in the real life. We want to do it in the gyms. People will feel motivated to go to the gym because they will have people to meet, they will have goals to achieve, they will have rewards for doing it, and they will have as well their own benefits and as exercising. So that's the point.
Still, it's more than a sentence.
It's the first
vision, but
now you're into it.
Hmm?
You see, because now you were forced to sort of
Yeah, remove everything.
Yeah, take away a lot of the things that you find is very interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
But for someone like me, who I'm not technical, I'm not even a gymnast.
No, nobody. That's the point of this app.
But I have a lot of apps.
Yeah.
So
I want to introduce you to the profitability elements. One will be that we want to make the app free for users, but since we're working with these platforms, gyms need to pay for the license to use every wellness kit that want to integrate into the game.
Yeah.
That will be one of the best.
Now you're into the business model.
Yeah, exactly. I have that plan too.
Super.
There are other things, as for example, individualized experience for the gyms. We will charge for that. Introducing products for many manufacturers, locally principally, or can be also international as Nike, Adidas, anyone that wants to include elements into
these things you need to clarify in your application.
Yeah.
Within the first 2 minutes.
In the application is on writing, right?
Yeah, writing. Yeah. No, but not 50 pages.
No, definitely no.
One question is, I mean, you're talking about you've been visiting gyms,
Yep.
but the ones you really need to attract interest, would it be the ones visiting gyms, as you were saying? So have you talked to anyone actually exercising and trying to figure out what would motivate them more? Or is currently their lack of offering?
Yeah, I have talked with people that actually goes to the gyms, both the ones that are currently on and the others that are not. They told me that it's great if they can just sit down after exercise and have their results and what they are looking forward to do in the next step. That's part of the gym. And for people that is not there, well, also they want to join because it's
I think you might be onto something there because all the gyms in the world has a large number of support members who doesn't use the facilities, who have bad conscience for themselves because they pay a lot of money and they're not getting any feedback on it, or return on that investment. If you can find, or if your application can help them to be more active, then you are really talking about.
Yeah, that's the plan.
I think we have to cut there so that the others can also get the benefit of your feedback. I think I just you know what, my response is can wait. Yours can. So I'll go and we'll take a short session.
I can be here till 5 to 2 o'clock. So
oh, okay. You know what? In that case, I'll give you 2 minutes and say I totally agree with you. It was not immediately clear what the product is. You have to front load that. We are making X because of Y, and this is how we fix it, Z. It does this, a thing that does something to fix a problem. Really quickly, half a sentence, maybe. I think your team, you really should be up there. You should be up there showing that you're a group, and you should be sharing, all of you should show that you're part of it. This isn't just one guy going through it.
One of my motivations is also try to find collaborators in all this because I want to grow up with the company. I want to include many people as possible. Give ownership, that way they will commit to work in this.
And if you knew the answer to all these questions, you wouldn't be here. Then you wouldn't be out in the market. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I would say you talked about you mentioned that you talk to people. You mentioned that you talk to gyms. You should have more of a testimony, a quote that's up there, and it has a name on it, or just somebody, whoever it is, director of X gym. So it seems more like something that, because it's hard to invest in people say that.
Yeah.
It's easy to invest in, the CEO of SOTS is saying this.
As part of a course here in Jobbik, we are doing a user-based research on what are the needs of people that going to the gyms need to
put it up in a form that convinces people with money to say,
that can be done. It's not a problem.
I mean, that's just graphs, quotes, and things that look genuine.
Yeah.
It's not very. You have it, like you said. he has, you know, the basis, but you need to present it in a good way.
Just a quick comment. When you use codes and references, make sure that they are solid, because we check.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I will have them. I will tell them post it on Twitter, and I will just copy.
If you said that the managing director of SATS says something, and I call them up and say, what you're talking about, then the application.
No, of course we'll do that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the point is to get the right users.
And finally, I think the Prezi is a good tool when it has a bit more structure. We're jumping all
I was
over
planning
the place.
just what we do.
Yeah. So
you're onto something.
Thank you. Yes, I also feel that.
Okay, good. So
next
group.
I think it needs to be fixed.
Yeah, I probably should do that.
Be the background. I'll get my timer out. And go ahead. Timer with less clicks. That's a project somebody could. And okay, go right ahead.
Yeah. So there's a need for educational apps for kindergarten kids because they are required to use tablets handed out. So instead of sitting around watching Netflix and taking pictures of each other, the teachers have a wish for using the tablet as a tool in education. Our approach is to combine technology with physical activities in order to make learning fun. The benefits of this project are to have an app for physical activity and socializing for the youngest children. The children will be able to play together in solving the tasks. They get to know tablets and is introduced to a whole different kind of game together with their friends. The children will have the chance to develop their cognitive abilities and learn more useful things compared to Netflix and cartoons, Angry Birds. So, task for 3 and 6-year-olds.
Is my turn?
Oh, you're so.
Yeah.
Very eager
Okay.
to.
So, like, what will our game be? So first we have set down like our game should be targeted 3 to 6 years old kindergarten children. So which means that the children, they are all at the beginning learning something new. So fairy tale is a good way to let them to learn the technology and combined with the activity. So what I know that the famous fairy tale around the Norwegian children is Absent Askeladden. Yeah. This is like the famous one, and children like that's how we let the child be activity, like through the fairy tale roles eyes. And our plan is to make both iOS and Android action in App Store and Play Store, which like advanced way. Yeah, and you want to say what it looks like, and my partner going to show you.
So we developed a very alpha
Magic
mockups.
10.
And they're like basically like how the app like would look like on a very like basic level. So you get, since like the amount of text is going to be very small because of course kids cannot read at that age. So you're gonna have like an audio option where you can like re-listen to what the character is saying. And basically it's going to be developed in these small tasks they will be related either to indoor or outdoor. In this example here, there is husband who introduces himself and describes, of course, maybe in a longer section, but that's just a introduction mock-up, like there is a problem, and it's going to ask you if you want to help to solve this problem. And the problem is to save the princess, so the help is to interact either with the real world and with the app. And one of the tasks they could see, they could have like it's find a leaf or particular kind of leaf. There can be like a pine cone or a flower or something that would be more related to the indoor, like world, like teacher would display different elements around. And that would, of course, make the kids interact both with the app and with the outside door world. And that's it. Very good.
Finished.
Finished. That's it.
10 minutes?
Oh, okay, that's it. Yep.
First of all, I think you are already well into the business model canvas in the introduction that you've done a lot of, you sorted out your head in what you want to do. And what you should do is that you could go into the net and check out the business model canvas, because there's a lot of information on the net on that. I just showed you a few.
Do you think maybe we should just print out the business model canvas and have them fill it out afterwards?
I can give you a stack of A4 business model.
Fantastic, because I think we should really do that.
Yeah.
I had totally forgotten about it because I've been looking at all these more complicated things. But then when you put up, of course, this is what we need to put out for this course. So it's a fantastic.
We'll do that. We'll find a way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's clear and to the point. But I was thinking, I have 2 grandsons in that age group, your target market. And my iPad and their mother's iPad is full of various applications. And what I've seen is that they are attracted to programs on apps that have a lot of movements and noise and the objective of these applications is teaching. It is as Daniel was saying, you get some sort of reward when you play them, as you have mentioned here. So I think you would have to go very closely into the competitive market, the competition, and find out what's out there when you put in an application. But again, like the first group, you are, at least in my opinion, you're on phase 1 in my presentation at WHS. Maybe borderline phase 2, but I think they've come a long way. When it comes to content, that's your I could comment on if this is good or not so good on the teaching level. I have no experience with that. I just seen other types of applications with a lot of colors, a lot of noise, a lot of So, but you're onto something, particularly the business model thing. You might not be aware of it, but you are there.
May I have a question? I mean, in this case, you're trying to say that these kids, they should learn and experience tablets from a perspective which is not covered today. Have you been talking to any preschool teachers?
Yes,
or anyone?
they are the one who presented the challenge to us.
Okay.
We need apps. With the alternatives they have now, which they are doing a course here in Norway actually, where they are discussing, they're having something called happy apping,
where they're presenting apps for which they can use together with the children, and all of them seems to be movie makers of some sort, or this pet thing where you groom your pony, or pet pals, it's called. And there's and you make books, comic books, or just you make books, the book makers. So that's the alternatives. There are no fun games where you can take the iPad with you, go on an excursion like this, you get out, you feel the fairy tale and adventure. That's the thing which is unique about this.
And there's also a cultural aspect of it, because now you're introducing Norwegian fairy tales.
Yeah, that's the kortreist part of it, the short travel, which is important, and keep the culture, the fairy tale going with the younger children. Yeah, sure.
Good.
Kortreist concept, let's say. Yeah.
I think my feedback has a bit to do with, again, with what you said you wouldn't comment so much on, about the how good is it for teaching. What you mentioned just now, that you were, this was a challenge posed to you by the kindergarten staff. This should be up there. It's already, because that already establishes the market right there. When the market comes to you, that's a pretty strong indication that there is a market. And these things should be there, again, in the form of, this is, a quote, somebody, a witness.
Yeah,
truth coming forward.
Some Svada in the leads part first, which was.
But it should be front and center again.
Thank you for the feedback.
Again, it is important for us to know that this is something that actually has a market need, and that it's nothing that you have cooked up in your own environment. It's something that you've gone out and found the information and found the need, and then you do something about it.
Yeah, and we've seen counting and doing shapes, which is at the young age, is very good for children in their development, as we've seen in mathematics skills, and so we've been discussing this in other courses. Yeah. So this is familiar to us. Yeah.
Yes.
And then I have to say, when it comes to the mock-up screenshots of the product, I'm not super convinced. I still need to see. It doesn't 100% sort of show me that this caters to the target demographic. Of course, I've been working with lots of interactive productions, so might be a bit more skeptical the moment. And I think you need to show two things, like I said last time when I talked about pictures. Show us what happens on the screen. Also show us or tell us what actually go through the steps that happens in real life. And hopefully, with some pictures. This is how we do it. Okay, are they sitting around, in a group? Are they walking around, pointing at things, looking at this thing? We should have mock-ups. Should have pictures of that. And grab a kid and get them to show. Take some pictures. And the thing is, like you said, get out of the room, get out of the building, get off your ass.
Yeah, we are going there in. What's the date today? In 10 days.
There's no time like the present. Yeah. But all these things. But once you do that, and also put in a slide where it says the end, so we know. When you do that, it takes it up several notches, and that's what you.
Oh,
do.
thank you. But isn't that the kind of the next phase? I mean, now the kind of the core idea is there. There is a market there. There is a need, and you get that done. And then the details about the content and the details what's going to make it more attractive. Would that be kind of a second phase also?
I don't think so, because for a lot of these products, you have to establish a vision, the dream that people are going to buy into. And if that isn't concrete or solid, if you can't really get that, some kind of image in your head, doesn't have to be the right image, but it has to be some kind of idea that people can latch onto. The moment it's fuzzy, like I think Daniel's idea was it's harder for people to get enthusiastic.
But so that was the thing is that I think you're absolutely right in terms of scenarios, showing the kids some image of kids with their tablets out doing a play out in the garden. But when it comes to the actual screen design for the game,
Oh.
I don't think that is so. That's what
No, I think it's fine what they had, but you also need to couple it with the scenarios that they can. So that's how you use it.
In what scenarios, in what school situations would you see this being used? That would be great.
That's
Because one of the really big challenges that all of you are facing is that when the listener doesn't really understand what he's seeing and hearing, he's preoccupied with trying to understand what he is trying, seeing, and then whatever you're saying, just go over the head, because at least men, we can have only one thought in the head at one time, because it's you have so that is a major challenge for anyone who are educating or talking. If you're not connecting 100% beginning, then a lot of the information is lost.
Remember what I said last time? Jaws in space.
That's not with the tablet. It's our
But yeah.
I think that's the wrong vision. I think you should more bring Askeland with you out in the field trip. I mean, that's even better, because then you put it in the scenario, in the actual case.
Oh yeah, that's probably better.
That's like any game you can play at home. But this is, you would like to set in the school setting, where they are out on a mission, and that's where you use it. That's what you want to sell, isn't it?
Yes,
that's the story.
With Askeland in your backpack.
You should be there when we do our meetings. That was a good idea.
New name.
That's what innovation is all about. You need to work out, and you need to get resistance, and you improve, and you get new resistance, and you improve, and you get new resistance, and you improve. That's
that's like it's like Candy Crush.
The first round.
Pretty much.
Candy Crush. Yeah.
Great.
Hey, thank you very much.
Okay. So, next group. Whenever you're ready, give the word.
Okay, I'm Marcus.
Lucas.
Niklas. And Christian. And we have talked about creating a game called AKA. It's a mobile card game and a time-based word guessing game. It's like Alias as a mobile game. So now I'm going to go through the minimal viable product, or the gameplay. It's a game on the mobile where you get words on cards, and you have to explain the word you get to your fellow teammate. You get plus points for correct answers, minus points per pass, and the score is set to the team. So when you're a two-person team, then both points get to the team. And then the next team is up, and the game will know whose turn it is. And you have to swipe left to pass and left to left for pass and swipe right for correct answer. Color clues in the design for which way to swipe. So we think like green shadows in the correct side and red colors in the wrong side. And it's time-based. When the time runs out, you get all words on a list showing both correct and past words. Then you get the total score, and the next team can start. And our audience is a casual game for the ages between 15 and 35.
So I'll go through some highlights of the game. We have a prototype. I need the card one. So this is the in-game. This is when the game is running, and this is the word you should explain to your fellow competitors. And if you don't know the word, you can get 1 hint, 2 hints, or 3 hints, and then yeah, the time
Hints
is
could be like
ticking.
synonyms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the gameplay, after you have finished the round, you get additional information about each word, like this. We have planned different gameplay modes, some for education and some for fun, and also different modes regarding how big the group is. We want some automated team management so that you can know whose turn it is when, like Kristin told us.
There are sort of two contexts in which the game would probably use. One of them is educational, and the other is sort of a social party game. In an educational setting, it sort of uses the mobile portability, so you can play it theoretically on the bus with your teammates, although people around you will probably be annoyed. You can play it in class during breaks, or as a kind of activity in the class managed by the teacher. It is suitable for a variety of different curriculums, so you could use it in English or in geography. It's pretty general. It's theoretically possible to implement. We intend to make a feature where teachers can supply their own database of keywords suitable for the specific curriculum that they are teaching. And by having sort of a history feature, students can look at their previous attempts and see where they failed, so they can prepare in their weak areas. The other area is as a party game, which is kind of self-explanatory in use. You sit around and have nothing to do and say, hey, I have this game on my mobile phone, and give it a try. There are a lot of sort of similar games that we have taken some inspiration from and are kind of for competitors. For example, as mentioned, Alias, which is the physical implementation, which of course is a racing game, and Heads Up, which is some game made by Ellen Generous, where it sort of works in the reverse, where other people have to explain to you, so it's several people applying information instead of you. One person guesses instead of several people. And some other famous games such as Charades and Trivial Pursuit have certain things in common with it as well. Sure.
Yeah, as for technology, the application will be developed for smartphones, both on Android and iOS, and the game can be played offline without the internet connection, but you only need an active internet connection when you're downloading new words. And the words are then downloaded from a database from the server belonging to the game. And to minimize the workload in the development of the project, we'll plan to use existing libraries, both for the graphics and perhaps also part of the gameplay. When it comes to the style, the game should have a simplistic design, giving the player the illusion of actually holding a deck of cards in your hand. To make it more fun, we will also add animation and sounds when swiping cards. There will also be a sound when the timer starts and ends to know when the time is up.
Finally, I'll speak a little bit about how we can monetize this product. We aim to have the product as a free-to-play product on both the iOS and Android app stores. You can have micro transactions within the application to buy new modes or new word packages and so on. And those can all be tried once by the consumer first before they have to buy it.
See if it's any fun.
Yeah. The educational package that was talked about before can also be bought via in-app purchase for those who would be interested in that. And finally, because of the minimalistic design, you can easily have room for advertisement. So you can potentially have an advertisement with the business model. That was our product. Thank you for listening.
First impression. Is this an educational tool or is it a game?
Kind of both. Yeah. Because it's the same game, but you can add different dictionaries.
So what you're doing is that you're tricking people to thinking it's a game to teach them. That's fine. By all means.
Well, it's more like you can choose what you want to use it for.
Yeah, yeah. But I think when you are entering in a marketplace, you should decide which of those two segments you should concentrate on. Because now you have both. I'll tell you a story. When I was in fifth grade, sixth grade, which is a long time ago, our English teacher, he gave us each English class, he had a piece of paper that he handed out with 3 strong verbs that had to be, what do you call it? Had to be, gone, or the grammatics of it. And this became a competition within the class. But it was only 3 words per note. And you had then 9 possibilities or 9 points, if you like. And believe me, I haven't forgotten one of those strong verbs. Now I'm 65. And just as a hint to where you're going, because that type of education is extremely strong, and you're onto something there as well as the other guys.
Fine, but you're all within time limit.
Yeah. Also, leading up to that, you should think about the business model. There's a lot of potentials, advertising, sales, free trials, all that, which is good. But you have to decide when you make up a strategy and how to succeed, right? Then you have to really think through that. And I'm sure you'll technically you're more than able and to succeed on that. So that was my impression so far.
And I have very similar sort of feedback for you. It's about deciding where to position yourself in the market. You're pitching it more like it's a technology that's very open, can do a lot of things, but you're selling a product that needs to have a focus. Because if you don't, then you're just giving away your idea, showing that it's viable, and then somebody else who has a more pointed strategy, who says we're going to do what they did, but just for education. So no ads, because ads, that's a no-go for any education, for basically any education, that's a no-go. And free to play, well, depends. What kind of structure is it? If I was going to go into something like that, I want to know more details. Exactly what points do you monetize? When does that happen? What kind of purchase and how does that fit with the market, right? These considerations. So you're opening. It's too open, like you said. It's too open. You need to specify this thing. I mean, these things. Sometimes you'll see an opening later. Sometimes an investor will ask you to change it because they have an idea of a different way of selling it. So it's fine that you're open, but you shouldn't be so open that you don't have a focus somewhere to start. So it's great with something that can be extended, but it should have a clear focus in the beginning. I think that's the only problem from a business standpoint that's really glaring. But in terms of the presentation, I'd like maybe a bit more figures, like visualize the database, Word database, how it goes in, and again, like I told the others, a picture or something that shows that situation. Do I pass it around? How do I flick, like to get that idea exactly. What happens in the classroom, on the floor, between me and my friend while we're having a drink or whatever? What's actually going on? A picture, something. I mean, it could even be two of you, and you sit yourself down and you show it and you Photoshop that mock-up onto the screen so that I can see, oh, okay, so that's how they do it. That'd be, that again, that would make the vision, the dream a lot more real to me. And if I can sort of imagine, if I can see it in my head, it's almost like it's real. And that's something that's a lot easier to sell than something that's, oh, it's a bit fuzzy, I can't get my head around, but the business is sort of, kind of there. See? So making it more real in the head, in the mind of whoever is listening to you, that's core to a lot of these sort of software innovations, I think. Okay.
Casting with required. It's good, I guess, that you get the same type of responses here, but that might be boring to hear it in 3 different ways. But sort of that. I think absolutely right. I think that the problem you have, as I'm saying, is that you have 2 different markets, and you need to make 2 very different sets of drill downs in those 2 markets. So what I think you should do is, if you want to go for the learning market, what I think you should do is, rather than say it can be used for any subject, I think you should say, oh, let's start then. 4th grade history. What is the problem? What do these kids need to learn that they have problems to really learn now because it's boring? Okay, so how can you take that and talk to the teachers, talk to the kids, and if you can demonstrate it works, 4th grade history, then you can extend it to say, okay, now let's work it for natural sciences in 7th grade. Now let's just work. So we can, rather than saying it works for everything, start small. It works for this, and it works for here, and then you say, okay, this technology is more general. Come and buy a new service, and we adapt this to a new market. I mean, you have a different model than saying that we're going to solve all the problems in this one tool. You aren't. But you can say that it's like the personas discussion. Rather than designing a system for everyone, design it for some specific ones. Make sure that it works for these specific ones, and then you can add a new ones later on.
So instead of developing a technology which looks for a problem, you solve a problem by a technology which can solve other problems. Yeah.
Be specific. Be very specific. The more specific you are, the more chance you can tune into something that other general tools don't solve the same way that you do, because you have that expertise, knowledge in that field.
It's just, I mean, it's the same story, just kind of tell it, differently, right? Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Okay. And those were the 3 groups we had here on campus. And yes, I haven't gotten a video from the people in France. They sent me some slides, which are good. I'm going to look through them, but I'm not going to go and punch through some slides that somebody else sent me. That's going to be a bit weird. So I think, would you like to give some sort of a summary or some final words, and then last words, famous last words, and then we'll go and have a break, and then we'll come back and we'll work a bit on these pitches and I think we should really break out the canvas and fill it out. I think that's a really good idea. Thank you very much for bringing that to my attention again. It's been too long, but I saw it when it came out and I was like, oh, that's great, and then I forgot about it. But it's fantastic, so we should really use that. But yeah, if you have anything.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank you all for participating and also for letting me come and give a small presentation of what we're doing. We do a lot more than what I've told you, of course. My work is towards industry, established companies, growth companies within industry. And I must say, this has been a most invigorating and inspiring meeting so far this year. It is really nice to hear all your presentations, that you have the right thinking, and that you're working on it, and that you're willing to learn and willing to listen. I am really impressed of what you have been achieving so far. So keep up the good work. You know now who we are, where you can reach us, at least partially what we can do. We're not handing out money. You have to qualify, remember that. But you are on a right track to when you're finished with your masters and you decide to start up your own company. Well, you don't have to finish your masters, but I would say
yes,
do it. Do it.
That's the wrong message.
Don't drop out. Listen to an old man. Been there, done that. So, but when you're finished,
yeah,
call us. There's stuff here that can be worked on, believe me. So again, thank you very much for your attention.
so we will have a break.
Yes, we'll have a break.
An hour or how long do you think?
Half hour, 30 minutes break. So that means be back.